Good morning, day 67. That's a long time, 2 months, over 2 months, but I intend to keep going. I did buy fresh produce once during that time, and I will again at the beginning of March. So in the meantime, we're going to continue to cook up what we have. So I tried this International Delights Wonka Fudgy Caramel, and it's okay. It costs like twice what this costs. What's the matter, bud? You gotta wait a minute. I'm talking to the ladies and gentlemen. But it's not fudgy at all. It's, I don't know if you can see that, it's white. So I'll drink it up, but not my favorite. Every time I buy a new creamer, I regret it. So I just go back to my chocolate. So anyway, I let my yogurt ferment overnight, and it did turn out nice and thick, but it's very, very tart. So I think if I let it ferment a little less, it wouldn't be quite as tart. So let's go over to the stove and take a look at my yogurt. Alright, so here it is. It didn't totally separate like it usually does for me. It has a little bit on the top, but it is thick. So let me take a look here. It is thick. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and it should thicken up even more. But like I said, it is very, very tart. So a little less fermenting time would be okay, but I'll just put more sweetener in it. And a viewer sent me her recipe for making her yogurt in the Instant Pot with soy, and I'm going to try that next, and I can use this as a starter. I've used probiotic capsules in the past, and that hasn't quite worked out the way I wanted it to. I'm looking for a Greek-style thick yogurt. So anyway, this was successful. I'm going to give the other technique a try in the Instant Pot, and I'll take you along with me for that too. But for now, I'm not unhappy with this, so I'll be back in a little bit. I'm probably just going to be doing breakfast at home. I don't plan on spending any money on food. I'm going to a function, so I'll be gone most of the day, but they'll have food there. And so I still want to make this a no-spend day, at least on food. And I'm not going shopping or any of those things, so I want to keep it as low spend as I can. Now I am doing some things to my living room, which is kind of, because of the state of my furniture in there, it was sort of had to be done kind of thing, because well, you know the saga of my couch. It just was to the point where people couldn't even sit on it. So I'm trying to keep that as low spend as I can, and it's progressing nicely. And doggy drinking water again. They're so loud. But anyway, yeah, so this is probably going to be a shorter video today with not too many updates because of the busy day that I have planned. But I will be back for breakfast in just a little while, and we'll see what's in the fridge. Day 67. All right, let's see what we still have. Well, I still have my leftover mac and cheese. Of course I do. Alright, I'm going to have some of this fitness bread. I want to eat it up. I don't want to buy any more bread or make any more bread until I get most of that eaten up. I'm also going to have some of this store-bought yogurt now that I have a new supply. I need to finish that up with the grapes. And I still have these rolls that I have to eat up. So, oh, and then I'm going to have this hummus that I opened yesterday on the fitness bread. And some of my vegan lunch meat. Okay, that's what will be for breakfast today. Day 67. I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, I'm here at the stove. This is where I prepare everything. I have my cutting boards here and all. So this fitness bread, in Germany they call it Schwarzbrot, which literally means black bread. And like I said before, it's very dry, but it's good. It almost has like a little bit of a sour taste to it, but I kind of grew up with it since we are German, but I like it. So anyway, this morning I had this open container of hummus, and I'm just going to put that on the bread. So, you know, since I'm not going to be here today, I thought we could hang out while I make breakfast. And so my Chloe escaped the yard last night. She's very she's a very physical dog. She's extremely strong, and she hasn't done that in probably a couple years, and I don't know where she got out. So now I have to kind of monitor her a little bit when she goes out. Before I could just let them out and then they'd come right back in. And of course the other two babies are too short to get over the fence. So I have to see where she escaped. But of course with this wonderful weather we're having, it's not easy to go out there and do anything because there's snow everywhere. So I'm just going to have to monitor her because we do have a couple busier streets on either side, and I don't want her to get hit by a car. I would just be heartbroken. So anyway, nothing special here, just some hummus on there. And then I'm just going to, this stuff is expensive. It's the Tofurkey brand. And this one is, I think, hickory smoked. It's good. I've made my own lunch meat before, but I'm trying to avoid cooking a lot of things because I just don't want more stuff in the freezer. But it's super, super thin. And this is, you know, this is basically what you get for, like, I think it's almost $4. So learning to make your own protein lunch meats is probably a good idea. Now I know a lot of you are meat eaters and that's your preference, but if you think about it, you might want to think about maybe checking into some of the Vital Wheat gluten lunch meats that you can make as an alternate source of lunch meat, and they're good. They're very good. But at least once in a while, if you can't afford the cost of meat, because everything is just so ridiculously expensive now, that, you know, and it's getting harder and harder, especially if you're on a fixed income, like a lot of us are, and even those of you that are still working are pretty much on a fixed income too, because that's your salary. And I know a lot of times people say, well, just get another job, you know, but that's not always easy, especially like if you're a single mom and you have children and you can't be working 24/7 because you're their caregiver, or if you have elderly parents, you just don't have the time. One full-time job is enough. So we're all kind of getting to the point where it's a bit of a struggle to keep up. So there's part of my breakfast. And then I'm going to just make some yogurt. I'll put that aside. And my $5 yogurt. I just can't get over how much the price went up on that. I don't know why. Maybe it's the cost of, oh, who knows, the cost of something. So I have a little bit of that left. Probably enough for, oh, maybe 1.5 servings. No, I think I can eat most of it. And I think I might add the rest, just a little couple tablespoons full, to my homemade yogurt and stretch that a little bit. So I forgot the sweetener. Okay, so this is my favorite sweetener, the Whole Earth. It's stevia and monk fruit, and I've been buying that for a while. And it used to be hard to get. First time I got it was at Costco, but I've gotten it on Amazon too. And I like a sweetened yogurt. I don't like just the real tangy yogurt, so I always add a little sweetener. And of course that's 0 calories, so that's great. And then I have my homemade chia berry jam, and it's nice. If you can't, or if you don't want to can jelly, think about making some freezer jam. Just take whatever frozen fruit you have or fresh fruit, cook it down with a little bit of sugar or sweetener, whatever, and let it cook until it thickens up a little bit. That way it's more concentrated. And then just add some chia seeds to it. Now this one I put in a little bullet blender because I didn't want the seeds, because this was berries. It was berry mix and mulberries that I had picked from the mulberry tree in my backyard. And I didn't want to throw those away. And when my freezer thawed, I had to do something, so I ended up making this chia freezer jam, and I will definitely make this again. But I froze several of these, and it keeps real well in the refrigerator too. But by blending it a little bit, you don't have the seeds, and I'm not a big fan of seeds like in raspberry jam and things. So I'm just going to make my own fruit yogurt here. I'm just going to put, a small teaspoon of my homemade jam in there. And then one of my favorite things to put in yogurt is grapes. So I still have some grapes that I need to eat. And I don't buy fresh fruit too often, but I do like to buy grapes. And you can also freeze grapes, and they get real sweet when you do that, and then you eat them while they're still semi-frozen. And another thing that is really good with grapes, you can buy those Baker's microwave containers that you can make like a chocolate sauce and dip them in the chocolate sauce. That's really good, even if they're frozen. So I'm going to put a good handful of my grapes in here. I should mix up the jelly first. But yeah, so you know, if you have food you don't always have to eat it the way it was intended. You can reinvent your food. That's what I do all the time. You know, I think about what else can I do with this so I don't need to waste it, because I don't like wasting food. So anyway, I'm going to add some more grapes now. And I bought these the beginning of the month when I did my produce haul. And when I go to the store again, the beginning of March, I'll buy more grapes. And even those have gone up in price like crazy. Alright, so there's my yogurt. And then I want to put some of my favorite cereal. Actually, it's the only cereal that I really eat. And that is my Special K pecan cinnamon. So I'm going to put a nice handful of that on there too. Hello. He wants to know, what's for breakfast, Mom? Your breakfast is over there in the dish. Okay. You can't just give one of them a treat. They all come running. Alright, so that is it. That is my breakfast for day 67. Pretty simple. And like I said, I won't be making dinner later. I'll be having... they're going to have food at this function, so... Anyway, there it is. Breakfast day 67. And I want to say cheers. And I also want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.